Thank you for staying with us on Breakfast Weekend. It's been a beautiful year, 2018. I'm sure we still have about 2-3 days left, and some things will still happen. However, in the 360-something days we've already used, how has Nigeria fared? How has the world indeed fared? Talking with us on the year 2018 in retrospect this morning, we have a public affairs analyst, Mr. Feyi Ejimakinwa. Good morning. Thank you for coming.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start with your own highlights. What was that thing that hit it for you this year?
Well, it may be an unusual one.
Okay.
For me, Anthony Joshua, a Nigerian-born British boxer, became the world champion. And more than any other thing, no matter how much you try to say it, he's put Nigeria back in a positive spotlight considerably. We may not take all the glory that, he's not wearing the Nigerian color, carrying the Nigerian flag. But I think in the midst of so much gloom, that's something that every Nigerian could hold on to and say, we have a part in that.
It amused me. I don't know if it amused you how, like you said, he's not carrying the Nigerian flag. Is it funny to you that we even claimed him more than the British people he's representing?
No, I think the young man himself identifies with Nigeria.
No, he identifies, and he even has a tattoo on his shoulder. I mean, on his shoulder.
Yeah,
the African thing. And he's always, anywhere he goes, he's always proud to say.
Even on his social media, he puts a band, one sad-looking away there, and he's trying to fund.
He's always even saying the best meal that prepares him for any fight is the Nigerian dishes that.
So the man himself identifies with
exactly.
See how you are quick to claim him.
No, we are not claiming.
We're not.
Most of the times, the problem we have is the people themselves. We are talking about Dele Ali, for example. Dele Ali never tilts towards Nigeria because he feels he's more British than Nigeria.
Exactly.
But in the case of Joshua is so proud of the fact that he's a Nigerian.
And he doesn't lose sight of that.
Exactly. We had a number of internet fraudsters, some of them who were deported in the course of the year. We had a lot of people who tried to run away from Nigeria through Libya, and a lot of that happened in the year also. How much are we claiming those ones? They are primarily Nigerians too.
No, there are always two sides to everything. Whether you have the good ones, you have the bad ones.
Sure.
The good child is always the father's child. And the bad child is an outcast. No, he's an outcast.
I don't know.
He's an outcast. So, but in this case, we've had ups and downs as a nation, different things that happen politically, economically, every aspect of humanity. But there must be some good takeaways for Nigerians and as Nigerians to say that it's not been gloom all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, a sad one happened yesterday. We lost the first president of the nation, Alhaji Shehu Shagari. May his soul rest in peace. But even at that, you always have the highs and the lows. Things will always go wrong, but there are always things, because much more than the generic thing happening to the nation. You and I want to ask, how much has this nation given to me? How much have I said? Have I gotten from the nation? How much of the general story, whether positive or negative, is mine? Do you understand? So I think Nigerians will look back and say, we've had so many things. Yes, the bad news will always make news any day.
Yeah.
But the positive ones too must not be discountenanced in any way at all. We must recognize the fact that things happen. Things will continue to happen. But every person, everybody who is a stakeholder, and everybody who is a patriot is a stakeholder, has something to do. But we always want to push away the negative and say the positive. But when it affects the status of the nation, the image of the nation, the general conditions of the people, that's when it begins to worry everybody that, this nation has not really been, 2018 has not been good to us as a nation. 2018 has not been good to us politically. We had the crisis in the National Assembly, whether in different states, Akwa Ibom, Benue. We had the political problems in Benue State and some other states. But we had the campaign. No party structures.
We'll get to all those. But I'm thinking, we're talking before we came on now about Boko Haram. Yes, you said gloom. It's not all doom and gloom for Nigeria in the year. Of course, we still have some great things. But the very dark cloud we had for a larger part of the year were the Boko Haram and the herdsmen clashes with farmers here and there. even though maybe even if it's just a little respite, it has reduced a little bit. And we have some people who are saying maybe politically inclined that we're not hearing about them so much. What do you think about the insurgency situation in security situation, as a matter of fact, in Nigeria?
My view may not be a popular view.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. And Ayo, the thing is, whether you like it or not, we may not be where we desire to be concerning the fight against insurgents. But definitely, I will say, situate now against the backdrop of the last election year, 2015. It is not the same thing. Situate now against the backdrop, or put it within the context, the canvas of last year. It's not really the same thing. The news coming from the front line has been more of soldiers deserting, bad morale, equipment. I mean, the fighting spirit of the men are low. But I will still say, the insurgents cannot claim victory right now. We may not have won the battle. Completely. We may not have won. We may not have finished taking them off the face of the earth. But the thing is, right now, they know it's not a stroll in the park. The insurgents, they know it's not a stroll in the park. Maybe there are pockets of attacks here and there. Maybe there's more of propaganda war. Maybe there's more. For me, I would say that security-wise, the nation may not be at its best right now, but we're not where you used to be, and it's not as despicable as we want, as some other people on the cyber elements who expect it to be. We have not done. Now, concerning the headsmen, you'll agree with me. Throw back to April, May, June, when it's like, 10 news.
So they're going to wipe out the whole nation.
You would probably just think, before you know what's at the rate at which it was going, and it was being reported by the media, it was just going to be a run, and they would just run over the rest of the country. But somehow, you can't close your eyes to the fact that it must have been politicized in one way or the other, because we're not hearing about them. We are still
now the elections are closed.
Exactly, of course, but it's not. Everybody is not talking about it. For me, at the time, I was like, are you sure there's going to be a Benue state or a Nasarawa or a Plateau state, the rate at which we were going? Because it was as if, the only thing you hear is that they are sacking villages, they are ransacking,
killing people here and there.
But it is not as bad as it is. But be that as it may, we just know that we're not going to rest on our oars, and there's still so much more to be done.
All right, so let's talk about the educational sector. The ASU strike has been on since 5th of November 2018, and here we are, 29th of December. We still don't know what the future holds for that strike.
For me, when you mention ASU, because it strikes me, that's my constituency, and I'm telling you that the crisis concerning ASU is not even the problem in the education sector. Right now, many people may not know it. College of Education lecturers are on strike. ASU, that is ASU is on strike too. So, but the thing is, beyond the fact that what the layman on the street thinks is, those lecturers, they are fighting for improved package. It's not about that. But we're saying that there's an agreement in place that had been entered into previous government, and we're saying every government is a continuity. There's continuity in government. So honor those things about funding, about research, about some other things. Make education, because we don't want a situation where it's just about, at the end of the day, people think education is about interface between students and lecturers, or students and teachers. But when the right atmosphere is not there, when the right conditions, when the right the right equipment are not in place, that's not where you're going to achieve your aim.
I wouldn't want us to lose the line of thought.
Yeah.
We're looking at 2018.
Yeah.
Now, 2018 for
education
in Nigeria.
Well, I'll tell you. Think of the fact that JAMB was the entrance exam into universities were conducted. They were good. WAEC results, WAEC exams were sat for, results came on time. Well, the results came also. Some states said, we have improvement in our WAEC results, you understand. Enrollment has gone up. We have more students, or our consciousness was raised to the fact that we have more children out of schools. Do you understand? So, those are education. Now, getting to higher education, there's been so much crisis. Industrial actions, if it's not the lecturers, so generally education has not had it very well this year in 2018. There's been more of negatives than positives. But the positives will always be there. But when you are uncomfortable on your seat, you don't remember the times that you've been comfortable. Your mind keeps going to the fact that there's a discomfort that is in place right now. So education has not been good, and especially at this material time we're talking right now, is still in crisis. So if there's one area I think the government has failed in its responsibility, do you understand? It is education. Education has not had it good in 2018.
And of course, there's this beautiful thing about the year ending, the year 2018, and it's about fuel scarcity. We didn't have this.
No. I mean, this government can always tell you that in that regard they've won that war.
Have they though?
No, but consistently.
I was arguing
as frequently as we used to.
Seriously?
Yeah,
there wasn't fuel scarcity last year.
There was none.
Last year?
No, we're talking about end of year.
End of year.
December last year. There wasn't strike. There
was last year.
There was last year, but you know the fuel scarcity of last year, they will tell you that it's just an abnormality that happened because in 2016 we didn't have it. Last year was 2017.
Yeah.
So 2018 we don't have it. So they can lay claim to the fact that some other saboteurs probably came in last year and that was what we have it. But the good thing is that 2018, we are finishing 2018 just like Kenny said. We don't have West Africa. Let's hope the last 2 days.
A lot of people actually preempted it that it was going to happen. Some were doing what do you call it, panic buying and all that.
Because in the course of the year, news here and there would say that very soon, maybe by so months, the fuel price would go up.
Even on like previous years, we're during the course of.
And let's also remember that the market has threatened to go on strike at some point in the year.
And somehow government gets to assuage their feelings.
Is it possible that it's because the election is coming?
Well, if possible, well, like somebody said, maybe we should have elections every time.
It will be beautiful.
There's always this prompt response to everything. Anything that we.
But there's not been in the case of us.
But even the negotiation has been going on, and then the threat of that, no work, no pay.
No, they said they didn't say that. They just said they didn't say that.
You say pay now, and I'm thinking of the minimum wage. That also raised a lot of dust this year.
No, it's still raising the dust.
No, actually, I was expecting to come to that because if there was something that 2018 was remembered for, is the issue of the minimum wage. The clamor for it, the rigmaroling going back and forth and everything. But I think right now, the issue is not, the federal government will say the issue is not with them. The issue is with the states who are equal stakeholders and who are part of the negotiation, saying that, okay, we can't pay
so much
what the government is agreeing. But the president, in presenting the budget before the National Assembly, has even said, okay, there's provision for 30,000 naira as minimum wage in the budget projection. So, but the states are going to say we can't pay. And remember, it is not just the federal government is not the sole employer of civil servants.
But do you think they are being honest by saying they can't pay?
Well, I had this argument and I said the states depend on allocations. Most of them, except for maybe one or two from federal government, and they're saying, okay, against the backdrop of the things we're going to expect, projections and some other projects we're going to be involved in, we cannot pay. But the thing is, I always say, and this might not be popular, Kenny and I always say, I want Labour to come out and say we've done our economic analysis, and we see that this state government can afford this, so that when you are demanding, you're not just demanding in vacuum, and that is my problem. But the state government will say we can't pay, federal government says we can pay, and Labour says we can pay, and you're just talking like. But
how to be realistic if you are saying that they are not saying, if you claim that the governors are not saying the truth, because most of them actually be struggling with 18,000 naira minimum wage.
And
so if they can't pay 18, how do they expect them to pay 30?
Is it possible some people have suggested that why don't we have each state look at its own revenue and all that and decide, okay, this state can pay this amount and this state, it doesn't have to be unilateral, uniform.
You'll be surprised that some states will say we can't even afford 5,000 based on their revenue.
On their own.
I'm telling you, it's that bad. But we're saying that let it be. Remember that minimum wage increment is a statutory thing. It's been agreed, it's been written that, okay, at so particular interval, it will be reviewed upwardly. And we're saying that the last time it was 2010, which is going to almost about a decade right now. And that is why Labour is fighting. And you're saying that between you and I, realistically, 18,000 does nothing. It does practically nothing. It's not saying that the 30,000 is
going to do much.
But do you understand? But we're saying that let me be realistic. There's a lot of what I call unnecessary spending. Then there is need for states in Nigeria as components to become economically creative. When states are not creative economically, I'm telling you, it's like Lagos State does not even depend on the federal allocation.
They didn't have it for some time.
You understand?
During,
Exactly. And right now, and people may not know, there are 3 streams of income for the states. There's a federal allocation, there's a VAT element. Do you understand? And then there's another one that I can't readily recall right now. So it's not really always about the central chunk. Do you understand? Every state, even those who are not generating VAT element for the federal government, they get from it. But the fact is that most of our states are not economically creative. So you find people coming there and say, oh, the only source of income that we're expecting is the allocation. And when the allocations are not coming, so that's why a governor of a state in Nigeria is interested in how much is all being sold because he knows that, okay, it's going to trickle down to him. So for me, I think the next thing we should be putting before our office holders, our public office holders, are what are you bringing to the table? What are the things you want to do? What are the things, the plans you have? It shouldn't just be about the fact that we're coming, we're going to do roads, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There are questions that we need to put before them, and we need to take them to task when these things are not being done the way they should be done.
Let's also look at the 8th Assembly. It's been one very interesting Telemundo series this year. We had the maize theft at some point. We had the siege at some point. The workers going on strike at some point. How would you assess the 8th Assembly?
To tell you the truth, apart from a pocket, a handful, 1-2 bills that were passed that became acts, you understand, that eventually became laws. I would tell you that this 8th Assembly, in my view, whether the lower house or the upper house, they've just been very disappointing. They've had so much spotlights on them, and yet they just seem not to be conscious of the fact, or they've become very unmindful of, one, their statutory responsibilities, 2, the fact that they are top echelon of society, and then 3, the fact that people expect so much from them. It's always one drama or the other. If it's not the maize, it's about the leadership, it's about the melaye,
the soundtracks.
You understand? It's about the soundtracks, it's about the gown wearing, you know, and then the workers and everything. And then at the end of the day, for every person, you and I, who in one way or the other, not even in one way or the other, who has or who we have our representatives there.
Yes.
The question we will ask is that how much has come back to me through the representation of my representative at the National Assembly. Do you understand?
Sure.
Because it is always the leadership crisis, and then the cross carpeting, moving from one party to the other. So at the end of the day, it's not even about what we are there because of the people. It's about either using the vehicle of our office to work against some other interest, or saying, oh, it's all about us, or you
party.
Understand exactly, or you get to hear that, oh, this is how much, so much that they earn, or and you know, denial here, we must get this one, we must not get that one. But specifically, if there is, for me, if there are dark spots of 2018, the National Assembly will be part of the top 3. For Nigeria, the National Assembly, like they will say on the street, they didn't do well.
And seeing as election is coming, do you think we need to ask more of our representatives, you know, in each constituent? Maybe they should even have their own debates as well. Let them talk about what they actually want, and not just somebody coming and saying, I've been there for how many 10 years, I deserve to
and
be
we have
again.
governors also going back to the same.
Yeah. You know, I say this, and every opportunity that I have, I say this. The fact is, there is a universally accepted minimum goals called the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yeah.
The question I ask is, how many of the people who are going for public offices even know about the SDGs? I accosted personally in the company of some other people, a sitting member of the House of Representatives who is actually going for the 3rd term in Oyo State, I mean in the Southwest. Let me you understand? And ask him, sir, oh, so what are your plans concerning the SDGs, concerning, I mean, in your constituency and everything? pardon my choice, but I want to quote him. He wrote to SDG. And I said, sustainable development goals. As in, does that have anything to do with us? And I'm like, so tell me, how will this person talk about development, about water, about environment, about gender, about education? Because he doesn't even know.
Does that speak of the person who doesn't know, or the people who actually put them there?
It's a double-sided thing. It speaks of the person who is putting himself up to be elected, and it speaks of the people who have elected him. Because I keep saying, we don't ask questions. Number one, Kenny, there are election campaigns. You and I don't go to the campaign grounds. And when you hear what they say at the campaign grounds, it's always singing, we lift this one up, you understand, throwing his disease and throwing, tantrums and everything. And then, apart from the presidency, and probably in some states the governorship, what other form of town hall engagement interaction or question and answer do we have with our representatives? So somebody just call. I probably even see the person I'm going to vote for either by the party or by the campaign materials that are being flown all over the place. So the question to answer Ayo is an indictment of we, the voting populace, and a reflection of our judgments, our values, our beliefs, and how much we ask these people. Because somebody who does not even have any plan, and that is why somebody can jump from party A within one electoral year. Somebody would have gone through 4 parties, and at the end of the day, he still gets elected. Very far from the first party he started out with, within 1 year, within a calendar year. So it's about the office. It's about the attractions of the office. It's not about the responsibilities of the office. It's not about the demands of the people. It's not about the needs of the people. And that is why we'll keep saying 20 years on that our democracy is nascent. For how long is it going to be nascent? For how long are we going to be learning? For how long are we going to be learning to take the proper foot forward? The thing is, it behoves us as electorates to ask questions, and not just ask questions with a view to demean them or to disrespect, but to say, what are the things? Do you have a proper understanding of the demands and the takings of your office? Do you have a proper understanding of what the people need? Is it about what you think we need or what we actually need? Is it about things that, okay, you're going to be there for 4 years? Are you trying to fill the need of the last 4 years? Or you're already situating us in the next 4 years? Do you understand? Somebody tells me, oh, when we come in, we're going to do the adjoining bridge that was damaged 80 years ago. And somebody should be saying, when we should be thinking of reclaiming more lands in some other areas. So you are going to satisfy the need of 8 years ago, and then you're not bringing us up to speed. Nothing new. So in the next 4 years, so it just tells you, oh, Atishe bridge for we've done bridge for them, or we provided them overhead tank with borehole. And borehole that does not function.
So if I get it correctly, it's not just about asking questions, it's about asking the right questions.
The right question and engaging them, taking them to task. Do you understand? Because that is what we need to do.
We've been talking about defections too. It has been coming up in most of the things you've been talking about. Election is next year, and are we? Because largely now we are not sure who would be in which position. Yeah. It's still largely, what's it going to be? Nobody really knows. Should we expect another level of defections again, back to wherever so many people have come from, if it doesn't go their way next year?
No.
What do you see happening?
That is natural. I see a return. You understand? In migration studies, we call it return to homeland. I see a return to homeland. But because in Nigerian politics, just as I say in migration studies, home is ambulatory. You carry your home everywhere. Do you understand? So it's anywhere you call home. So the fact is, at the end of the day, because these people, they are not running based on ideologies. They are not running based on clear-cut principles, no programs in place. So you just find out that, oh, okay, I didn't get it, but where I can still be relevant. So it's all about relevance, but not relevance based on what the people need, or relevance based on the fact that, okay, these are people that we share the same ideals. It's also about relevance of, oh, so that I will not be left out. So that is why you have a problem where, and I say it, it's not even going to be after elections. Immediately as elections I'll tell in between the election, that election month,
some people will
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Because today, last week, I saw something that was very funny. A particular party leader in Ibadan, I saw his name as an appendage on a particular poster bearing the name of a different party. And this is this party leader that I know has publicly said is in this party. So people are using him, branding him as because Mr. A is our leader, so vote for our party. But meanwhile, this Mr. A is saying, I am the leader and the face of another party. So you now tell me, if the party is saying is the leader does not get it, of course, can always say, they didn't forget me there. You know, I've always been there, and that is what is happening in Nigerian politics. Because once ideologies and principles are not in place, everywhere is home. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And in Nigeria, our politicians, they don't stand for anything. So that is why they can always find their level anywhere.
Tedola Bridge fire happened this year. Very sad, very gloomy, in fact. And it brings to mind the issues we Nigerians generally have been having with truck drivers and their security measures that they put in place. Apart from the Tedola Bridge fire, we had some trucks, you know, carrying containers, and then it falls on whatever vehicle is beside them. Still this week, I still saw a particular truck here in Ibadan, still going without, you know, the correct straps put in place very carefully. How do you think going forward we'll be able to curb these things if the proper regulations are still, even after all the tragedies we've suffered this year, are still not put in place?
You know, the thing is, for me, there are two sides to it.
Okay.
The gloomy side is the fact that these things happened, they are happening, and because, like you said, the right things have not been put into place, we can only wish, like Nigerians will always say, we pray will not happen. But you don't pray when you should do. When you do the needful, then you can just put a prayer on it as a cap. The thing is, articulated vehicles moving on Nigerian roads, the safety measures put into place, the regulation, they are just not there. They're not there. It's not just about the fact that we restrict their movements to a particular time of the day. No.
Are those restrictions even working?
They are not even working.
Because you see them during the day, you see them at night.
You understand? I mean, before vehicles enter the road, there's supposed to be weigh bridges where they should measure, okay, what before they leave the ports. Some of us have been privileged to see some things in some other parts of the world, and you know that before you even drive out of the ports, before you drive out of the warehouse, those necessary things are there, because those are the things that the traffic officials should check. Those are the things that they should look out for. The vehicle inspection officers, the road safety core members, those are the things they should check. But even every organization should have its own internal checks. So when it has failed there, outside it's failing. And let me tell you something, no matter how much we wish it will continue to fail, because there is no will. There's no will to even address these things. We're quick to forget our disasters in Nigeria. We're so quick to forget our disasters. The disasters in Nigeria are only as fresh for as long as you can see them. Once it's gone off, it's business as usual. However, for me, I think when your $10 bridge happened and people will say, oh, Feyi, I see that you are so insensitive, I saw a good side of it, and a little good side of it was I saw the responsiveness of some state organizations, some state organs. LASMA cleared everything, and all other adjunct agencies, they cleared everything within 48 hours. The bridge was opened, you understand?
Yes.
However, $10 bridge suffered so much, that kind of carnage, the inferno and everything. Has everybody done impact assessment of that bridge? It's the only bridge that leads out, that access out of Lagos. It carries weights of people, weights of goods, weights of, you understand? Nobody has come out to say, oh, are we sure that the impact assessment on this bridge says that, oh, it's still as good as it is? Definitely, it may not have suffered so much, so much badness, if there's any word, damage, thank you very much. But the fact is that we need to be sure, so that someday we're not just say, okay, the columns holding up the bridge are beginning to vibrate, or the joints have become disjointed and everything. But away from Lagos, is it on the Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, or even within other states and everything? These articulated vehicles, they move anyhow. You understand? You're talking about the pollution that comes with it.
And they even drive. The drivers are. Some of them are drunk when
Very
they are
reckless.
It's
driving.
not that
You know.
you'll be surprised to know that it's not that some of them are drunk. It is taken at it is you must be driving under an influence for you to be able to withstand the rigors and the and what they call the load of the kind of driving they do. So for me, I think our road safety officials will need to do more. Our regulatory bodies in terms of road management will need to do more, because our roads, which takes 85% of our human and vehicular traffic, I mean, for any form of traffic or movement or movement of goods and people, they are under so much stress. They are not in good conditions, and people are open to a lot.
They even said that this particular tanker, the problem he had was a brake failure.
Exactly.
And who is supposed really to check these things and bridge these gaps so that we won't keep having the same tragedy over and over again?
I'm sure you've heard of the agency they call VIO. You've heard of the traffic division of the police. You've heard of state-owned and federal-owned road safety officials, and you're asking, well, you're wondering, amongst these 4 agencies or 5 agencies that we have clearly present on our roads, should we still be having such mishaps with such regularity?
Yeah, but is it a problem of structure or a problem of people not doing their work?
It is a problem of weak institutions in Nigeria. One of the problems we have in this part of the world is that our institutions are weak.
Okay.
Our institutions are weak, and because the institutions are weak, they will not be able to carry out their whether oversight or regulatory functions. So when there's almost like a deliberate weakness of the institutions, you can't expect a blackboard to bring in something very pure. So when institutions are not empowered, the people and policies make up institutions. So when the people are not, the right people are not there, the right policies are not there, the institutions are just they are just existing in vacuum. They can do anything, and then when there are no laws, everything is thrown into the air. So people just act anyhow. So it's not a function of the fact that VRO exists, road safety. I mean, the road safety corps. They exist, but the fact is that they are not empowered in the right way. So because the institutions are weak, is open to flagrant abuse. They are open to ineffectiveness, and more importantly, people just close their eyes to the things that are wrong, because they just say, okay, oh, whatever. The container that is being carried, somebody passed them out of the port, and between Tinkan Island Port and Ibadan, you would expect that there would have been 1, 2, 3 checks.
Sure.
You understand, on the road, and this tankers still. How many tankers do you get? People, they don't stop them. Even the police who are doing road checks and everything, they just make way for them to go and everything. So whether the guy is a harbinger of death, or the guy is just death waiting to, disaster waiting to happen,
nobody checks.
They just allow them to go.
What about the health sector, Mr. Ejimakinwa? What was that side for?
Well, I say that because the thing is, with all sensitivity, there will be 1-2 persons who is probably listening to us, watching us at home, that would have fallen victim or that would have lost somebody. Do you understand? And that is a clear area where I cannot point to any, because these are experiential things. We experience them. We come in contact with them every day, in one way or the other. Do you understand? And how much do we ever get to have improvements? Rather, what we have is decadence. It's like a retrogressive thing, always happening. You understand? Like late fella will say, you understand? They put us in reverse concerning health. I can't point to anything. And then Johesu, that is the workers there. You understand? Strikes here and there is happening everywhere. The equipment are not there. The personnel are not properly. The morale are not boosted and everything. So for health is like my son will say.
Cancel. Thank you so much, Mr. Ejimakinwa. It's been amazing having you in the studio. We could go on and on. A lot of things happened this year, but we need to let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming, sir.
We've been talking to public affairs analyst, Mr. Feyi Ejimakinwa. We'll take a break now. The show continues in a moment. Don't go anywhere.